If you're traveling this summer with your baby, then you need to know about Baby Quip. Baby Quip is the #1 baby equipment rental service and marketplace, offering thousands of baby gear items in over 1,000 cities across the US, Canada, Mexico, Caribbean, Australia, and New Zealand. Baby Quip provides clean, safe, and insured rental essentials to make everywhere feel like home. They rent full-size cribs, strollers, car seats, toys, high chairs, carriers, noise machines, pack and plays, monitors, and so much more. And listen, when you rent baby gear, that allows you to actually enjoy the trip of getting to your vacation destination. It eliminates the need to pack and haul bulky baby equipment through the airport, or your baby equipment doesn't take up that valuable trunk space. My listeners can get $20 off your reservation of $100 or more with code Dr. Nicole at babyquip.com. That's babyquip.com and use promo code Dr. Nicole to get $20 off today. Enjoy the journey with Baby Quip. Just because breastfeeding is natural doesn't mean it's easy, but you don't have to do it alone. That's where the Lactation Network comes in. The Lactation Network helps parents at every stage of the breastfeeding journey. Whether you need support resolving feeding issues, choosing the right breast pump, creating a plan for weaning, or anything in between. The Lactation Network is the largest network of licensed breastfeeding experts in the country. They provide in-home, in-office, and telehealth consultations in all 50 states with no out-of-pocket cost. Get the breastfeeding care you deserve with the Lactation Network. Visit tln.care/Dr. Nicole to schedule your own insurance-covered lactation consultation today. Welcome to the first Dr. Nicole Says episode. It is okay to fear birth. Welcome to the All About Pregnancy and Birth podcast. I'm Dr. Nicole Calloway Rankins, a board-certified OBGYN who's been in practice for nearly 15 years. I've had the privilege of helping over 1,000 babies into this world, and I'm here to help you be calm, confident, and empowered to have a beautiful pregnancy and birth. Quick note, this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for medical advice. Check out the full disclaimer at drnicolerankins.com/disclaimer. Now let's get to it. Hello there. Welcome to this very first Dr. Nicole Says episode of the podcast. Whether you're a new listener or a returning listener, as always, I'm so grateful that you're spending some of your time with me today. So what exactly are these Dr. Nicole Says episodes? Well, these are not going to be like the regular podcast episodes. These are just going to be quick, short little episodes around 10 minutes or less, where I touch upon an important topic that's going to help you have the most beautiful pregnancy and birth. Now, the best way to learn about the Dr. Nicole Says episodes is, and be sure you don't miss any, is to be subscribed to the podcast. They're not going to have all of the usual fanfare and promotion and emails and social media stuff that my regular podcast episodes do, because I only have a certain amount of time in my day. But the best way to know about these episodes is to subscribe to them so you don't miss a single episode of what Dr. Nicole says. All right. Now, speaking of Dr. Nicole Says, let's go ahead and hop into it. In this episode, Dr. Nicole says it is okay if you feel scared when you think about giving birth. See, listen, there are like a gazillion Instagram posts and TikTok videos. You see it in some of the pregnancy groups or on YouTube videos. There are hashtags and things like, no fear in birth, birth without fear. All of these messages are telling you that you should not be scared about anything when it comes to giving birth. But here is the real deal truth. it is actually very, very normal to be scared when thinking about giving birth. Quite normal. And here are 4 reasons why it is okay and normal to fear birth. Number 1, you ain't never done this before. If this is your first baby, you've never given birth before. You haven't seen it. You don't necessarily know what it's like. Back in the day, people used to see birth. People gave birth at home. So you would see your mother or your cousin or your sister or your aunt or whatever give birth. So you haven't seen birth before. And then not only that, but the depictions of birth on television and in movies are completely unrealistic. They paint it as this overwhelming event. It's kind of crazy, all of these things before. So you not only have you never given birth before, but the images that you're shown of birth paint it as something to be scared of. Okay. So that's a totally normal reason to be scared when you think about giving birth. All right. Reason number 2, why it's okay, why it's normal to fear birth is that you gave birth before and it didn't go well, or it didn't go like you anticipated. Maybe you wanted a vaginal birth and you had a cesarean. Maybe things went super fast and were quite overwhelming. People often think, oh, a fast labor would be great, but a fast labor can actually be quite overwhelming because you feel like you have no control over what's happening in your body. Maybe you weren't able to get an epidural and you really wanted to get an epidural. Maybe you had a preterm birth. My first birth was a preterm birth at 32 weeks. I was certainly the next time scared during the course of my pregnancy about what may happen again. Or maybe you were mistreated during the first time you gave birth. Maybe you weren't respected. Maybe you weren't listened to by the doctors, by the nurses. All of those things are perfectly valid reasons to be scared when you think about giving birth. Reason number 3, this is a big one. You're part of a community that's shown time and time again to be at higher risk for mistreatment or complications related to birth. What comes to mind, of course, is Black women. The mortality rate for Black women, even though the overall number is low, it's about 2 to 3 times as high as white women. So of course, you have a natural fear of giving birth. If you're a Black woman, you're at a higher risk of death. You're at a higher risk of complications. You're at a higher risk of mistreatment. So all of those things are in the back of your mind. KiwiCo Panda Crate is a bi-monthly subscription for babies ages 0 to 24 months. They are perfect for brain-building play and fun. KiwiCo baby products are made with care. They are free of BPA, free of lead, and they use only non-toxic water-based paints and finishes. And y'all, these crates are so freaking adorable. The Bond With Me Panda Crate comes with a tummy time mirror that can be used in multiple different ways. There are these really cool black and white high contrast image cards that support baby's visual development. There's a super cute milestone pillow and cards to track your baby's milestones, plus other at-home activities to connect and bond with your baby. And y'all, these crates ain't just cute, okay? They also support your baby's rapid development in the first 2 years of life with science-backed products that support child-led play and encourage open-ended exploration. Each KiwiCo Panda Crate includes age-specific products that are designed by experts and backed by research. I would have loved to have something like this for my babies. Unlock brain-building play with KiwiCo Panda Crate. Get 50% off your first month with code Dr. Nicole at kiwico.com/panda. That's 50% off your first month at kiwico.com/panda, promo code Dr. Nicole. But there are also communities that are systemically marginalized that also may be scared when it comes to giving birth. Maybe your gender expression is different. Maybe you carry extra weight or are considered obese and you're worried that you're going to be discriminated against because of that. Or you know the reality that, yes, there are some increased risk of complications related to that. Maybe you have Medicaid. Medicaid is often associated with having you have to have a lower income in order to get on Medicaid. And I hate the lower income or lower socioeconomic status. There's not a really great way otherwise to capture that. But people who have Medicaid may be at increased risk because people don't treat you the same because you don't have as much money as other people. So of course that is a natural reason or concern to be scared when it comes to giving birth. And then the final thing, or the final reason why it's normal to be scared, is because the reality is that the U.S. maternal system is scary. It too often takes a patriarchal approach to birth and tries to take away power and control from women over what happens in their own bodies, and it can be racist. That is the reality of the system that you're giving birth in. So I 1000% get it that you are scared, but all is not lost, okay? All is not bad. That fear does not have to cripple you. You can absolutely conquer and manage that fear. And here's how you're going to do that. Instead of saying this sort of like, you don't have to fear birth, don't be scared about giving birth, I actually want you to lean into your fear. Lean into your fear and ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? And then you're going to use that self-reflection about your fears and educate yourself. So, are you afraid of pain? If you're afraid of pain, educate yourself about your pain management options. Are you afraid about not being listened to? If you're afraid about not being listened to, educate yourself on how to advocate for yourself during your pregnancy, during your birth. Maybe you get a doula to help you, those kinds of things. Are you afraid of having a repeat of your first birth experience? Then whatever happened during that first time, educate yourself so that you can not have that happen again. Are you afraid of dying? Educate yourself about the realities of the statistics. Actually, most people are not going to die during childbirth. Even though there is an increased risk, most people are not going to die, including Black women. But educate yourself about the statistics. Express your worries, and so that you can conquer that fear with education. It's such a powerful remedy to help manage those fears in a way that best serves you. Now, what you're also going to do, in addition to educating yourself, you're going to talk about your fears with your doctor or your midwife. This is a great litmus test to see if you have someone who is supportive of you, okay? If you talk about the fact that you're afraid of pain, or you're afraid of dying, or you're afraid, of not being listened to, and your doctor dismisses you or your midwife dismisses you, that's a red flag. You want someone who understands your fear, who's empathetic with you about your fears, and is there and encourages you and reassures you that they're there to help you conquer your fears, okay? So talk about your fears with your doctor or your midwife. Talk about your fears with your partner as well, so that you can work on conquering those things and managing those fears together. Now, an important part of conquering fear can be a birth plan. This episode is coming out on August 24th. And on August 29th, Tuesday, August 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm teaching a live class on how to make a birth plan the right way. I'd love to have you join me in that class. It's a great way to help conquer fears about birth. You can register for the class at drnicolerankins.com/birth plan. All right, so that is it for this very first Dr. Nicole Says episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, share it with a friend. Also, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss these episodes. And let me know what you think about this episode and this concept of these little shorter tidbits or little bites of information. You can hit me up on Instagram. My DMs are open. I'm on Instagram at Dr. Nicole Rankins. All right, so that's it for this episode. Do come on back next week, and remember that you deserve a beautiful pregnancy and birth.